So I hope this tutorial is visible to all of you, in which you will see few things about module.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I welcome you in today's session of hands-on Python programming, and in today's session we are going to talk about module. So let me tell you the first of all that what do we mean by module in Python programming. And even we have already used few modules in earlier sessions for our program, but exclusively we will go through few modules, okay, that will be we can say we will use those modules and the functions available in those modules frequently. That's why I am going to discuss those modules especially. But before that, of course, let me tell you that what do we mean by module actually. So uh, one thing is built-in functions. For example, in list, if you want to add any element, for that you have a function append. Okay, so I hope you can recall this thing, that if you want to add a new element in a list, for that you have a function like append, so that you may use. So that is a built-in function for list manipulation. But in Python standard library, okay, there are a number of modules. Okay, so what these modules will actually contain, so these modules will contain, we can say, a group of functions. Okay, so it means uh, if you are going to group a specific type of functions, okay, then it will be called a module. So in module you will get a set of functions, okay, a collection of functions simply. And as we know that when a program grows, function is used to simplify the code. So that we know that functions we have to use for simplify the code, for reusability, all those things I hope all of you are aware with. And it may not be feasible to manage the code in one single file. So let me simply tell you that modules, we can say, will be holding a set of functions, okay, a collection of functions. Okay, so whenever you need to use that function, first of all, you have to import that module. Okay. First of all, you have to import that module. Then only you can use that function, the function available in that particular module. Okay. So we have few built-in modules actually in Python, so that we can use. So I am going to take only math module, random module, and a statistics module. So why I am going to take only these three modules? Because whenever these modules, or we can say functions available in these modules, are frequently used, okay, in most of the projects and in most of the programs. Okay, so as you can see that math, random, and statistics, so actually we are going to use functions of these modules in most of our programs. These are very popular and frequently used. That's why we are going to discuss only these. In addition to that, if you have any other module, so that will depend on the problem for which you are going to write program, or the situation for which you are going to develop a project. Okay, for example, if you are working on a machine learning project, then you have to import modules of any particular library. So it will depend on the problem and situation, okay, that you want to address. But these are very common modules, that is actually built-in modules. Okay, so that built-in modules means any other library you don't need to import for this. Directly these modules you can import in Python. Okay, because there are other modules also in some libraries. Okay, so here we can say that these are directly come with your Python package. Okay, so but we have to import these modules. Okay, so these are, we can say, built-in modules of Python. So we are going to take like math, random, and statistics. So if you want to so as the name suggests that most of the functions will be for mathematical calculation. Okay, so first of all you have to write import space math. Okay, so in this way you can import. And then, for example, there is a function like gcd. So gcd that is to calculate greatest common divisor of two numbers. If you want to calculate, then you can use this GCD function. Okay, so I hope you got this basic idea of a module and how you will import this, and then after that you need to know about the function that you want to use. Okay, so let me tell you a number of functions are available in each module. For example, in maths, if you will see that in maths, even in maths we have these functions like seal for sealing, floor for calculating floor. Okay, and fabs is a function, factorial is a function to calculate factorial. So there are so many functions. Okay, so now it will depend that which type of operation you want to perform, then you have to know the syntax of that function. So we will take few functions for example. Okay, but in general what we do in practice, that we just try to learn that how we can import a module, then we will just go for examples of few functions. Okay, after that, whenever you need to operate some mathematical function, simply you have to search it. Okay, on python.org, otherwise on any tutorial, like directly on Google you can search that in Python module function for this work. Okay, function for calculating factorial. So easily in first or two links of that result for that query, you will get that particular function syntax and all. So we can't go for all the functions, but just to understand the syntax and the scenario, just we will take few functions. Okay, so let me show you that how we can use these functions and how we can import a math module. Then we will go for random and then the statistics. Okay, so what I am going to do next, that let me open. So you can open Jupyter Notebook or Colab file at your side. I am going to take Colab file. So what we have to do, so syntax wise, you can see that is the beauty of Python, that you don't need to write complete program for calculating, for example, GCD, greatest common divisor, if you want to calculate. So simply you have to write import math. So this will import this library. Okay, in Jupyter also similarly we can do. Okay, fine. Next we will do what? Math dot. So why we are writing math dot? So actually this is a function of math module. That's why I am writing this. Okay, so math dot, for example, GCD I want to do. Okay, so GCD of, for example, 10 comma, or we can say 70 comma 6. Okay, or 8 if we are going to, or 12 we are going to write. Okay, so that we can do. So you will get that 70 comma 12. So this will be the GCD, greatest common divisor. Or if we will take 2, 72, 12, so that you can do. Okay, so that's so simple. So syntax wise and how we can import, that is so simple. You don't need to write any code, simply you will call this function, but before that you have to import that module. Okay, so I don't think anything uh, typical. Okay, in this, otherwise
GCD means what, sir?
greatest common divisor, that is HCF, like
Okay,
highest common.
divisor. Okay, okay.
Okay, so HCF. So we have a list of functions. Okay, so you can see that a list of functions, we can say functions in math module in Python. Okay, so we will just directly check this thing, docs.python.org. Okay, so this is python.org is official website, we can say, for Python. So here you can check. Okay, so seal is a function, com is a function, and then copy sign, fabs, absolute value to calculate absolute value. Okay, so that we can check. Let me show you. So for example, if you want to calculate absolute value, so fabs, of minus 12, for example. So absolute value will be 12 because absolute value will be always a positive number. Okay, so we will run this thing, then you can see. Okay, so next, so a list of, we can say, a number of functions we have in this module. Okay, for LCM, so like GCD you can do LCM also. Okay, so let me try LCM, but math dot you have to use. Okay, math dot, then LCM. And then, for example, if you want to calculate LCM of 30 and 40, module math has no attribute LCM. Okay, let me check what is the issue. Math.lcm, return the least common multiple of the specified. Okay, new in version 3.9, so this is only in 3.9. uh, Multiple of specified integer arguments. If all arguments are non-zero, then the return value is the smallest positive integer, that is a multiple of all arguments. If any of the arguments is zero, then return 0. Okay, without arguments, return 1. New in version 3.9. 3.9, I am using 3.10. So what is the issue? Let me check that what is the issue. So you can check on Jupyter Notebook that you are getting output or not. On Colab, I am not getting output for this. There's no attribute. Okay. So we can check any other function for LCM. If you are using Jupyter, that you can check there at your side. Okay, so number of functions we have here that we can use from math module. Like we want to calculate factorial. Okay, so let me check for factorial. Let me check for factorial. Factorial, and we want to calculate factorial of 5, for example. Module math has no attribute factorial. Okay, so let me do this factorial. So 120. Okay, so that you can check for LCM, you can check at your side you are getting output or not. So I will check that why LCM is not supported. But on official website, it has been written that LCM is a function in math module. Okay, so in this type you can use these functions. So we are not going to discuss all the functions one by one. So for example, I square root, so integer square root of a non-negative integer. So let me try this one. I square root, math dot isqrt, and then 25. So for 25 we should get 5. Math has no attribute isqrt. Why we are not getting? Hmm. Okay, so let me check on Jupyter Notebook. So if you are using Jupyter Notebook, let me know that you are getting output for this one or not. Okay. Are you able to get output for this LCM and this ISQRT?
For what value, sir?
For 25, you can check.
Yes, sir, coming on the Jupyter.
No, that is the issue. I think for Colab it will be issue. But if you are using 3.9 or any later version like 3.10, and then on Jupyter you will get output for that. So let me take a new notebook. Import math. Okay.
For LCM, what is the command, sir?
For LCM, let me check math dot LCM, and now we want to calculate like 30 comma 40. Okay. Okay, so here we are getting output. Okay, so there will be few issues in Google Colab, but in Jupyter you will get these. You can use these functions directly. And for example, if you want to check for isqrt, so math dot isqrt, and then like 25, so square root of 25 it should, so 5. Okay, so here it is working quite well. So from this python.org you can check that what functions you have in math module and that you can use. So I would suggest that before next session you should at least run these functions for taking few values you can put from your side, and you should check. Okay, so next what I am going to do, that I am going to take few functions from another module that we have, like random module. Okay, so random module in general we use where we want to generate few random numbers, we can say. Okay, so for example, first one will be random dot random, so it will simply generate any random number. Okay, from 0 0.0 to 1. Okay, so let me show you that how we can use this, but before that, of course, we have to import this thing. So what we will do, we will write import random. Okay, so you can do simultaneously import space random, then we can write random dot random. Okay, and without any parameter we will use this function, so this time you will get some value. Okay, so maybe possible that you will get a different value from this one, because it will depend. So any random value from 0 0.0 to 1.0 you will be getting. Okay, so that is about random function. Next function we can take random dot rand range. Okay, so we will provide two values like a start and a stop, so it will provide you any random integer value between x and y. Okay, so that you will provide. So rand range we can use rand range. Okay, so random dot rand range we will use, and then x comma y. So in place of x comma y we can use like 5 comma 10. So in between 5 to 10 it will provide any random integer, like 8 it will provide. Okay, so like that we can use. And random dot rand range y, only y value if you will provide, so it will provide you any random integer between 0 and y. Okay, so if only one parameter you will provide for this function, for example random dot rand range, and any value if you are going to provide, for example 20, so any random integer from 0 to 20 it will give you like 15. Okay, so maybe possible that you will get any other integer at your side. Then we have random dot rand range, it's not
So what
range,
is
it's rand. Yes, yes.
random dot rand range? क्या होता है sir?
So actually it's name of function, so it is
Okay, it will be
random.
in that range. Okay,
Yes,
randomly
yes,
any of the
yes,
okay.
yes, 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 rand range. Okay, and if you will provide two values, so it will take any random integer between these two values like x and y. If you will provide only one value, so it will provide you any random integer between 0 and y. Okay, between 0 and y. And if you will provide, if you will take rand range, so this first two are rand range and last one is rand range. Okay, so if you will use rand range, so it will provide you random integer between x and y, signifying the start and stop value. So I think it is same. Okay, so rand range is also same. So next we can take few functions from statistics module. Okay, so for that we have to import this module, that is statistics. Okay. Then, so in statistics, you will get few functions that we frequently use for statistical calculations like mean, median. Okay. So what I'm going to do that next, mean we can use. For example, if you want to use calculate mean of few values, okay, so what we are going to do, that is statistics, we have to write the name of that module. Okay, so statistics dot mean we will write. So mean is the function actually, and for mean we will provide a list. In list we can write those numbers for which we want to calculate mean, like 10, comma 20, comma 30, comma 40, comma 50. Okay, so those numbers we will keep within a list. Okay, and that complete list we will provide as a parameter to this function mean. Okay, then we will check. So the mean of these numbers you can get. Okay, let me try for example 10.5, 20.7. So it will not be an issue if you are going to use float numbers for mean. Okay, like 50.5. Okay, so you can also calculate accordingly. Mean you can get. Okay, then next we have like median. Okay, so median, again you will provide a list and you will get median for that. So I hope you can get these functions and use of these functions easily.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So mean, how we can calculate mean of five numbers? If we have five values, then how we can calculate mean?
So divide by 5 now, sir. All the addition of the numbers divided by 5.
Yes, exactly. We have to sum those numbers and we will divide that sum by 5. Okay, if we have five numbers. So next we are going to use, for example, statistics dot median. Okay? And for median again, we will write our number. Sorry. For example, 10, comma 20, comma 30, comma 40. So could you calculate mathematically the median for these numbers? So how we calculate median of, if we have few values like 10, 20, 30, 40, then median we have to calculate. Could you tell me after
20 and 30.
calculation? Hmm.
Median of
Median
the
you
two
have to
numbers.
no. I think median will be a one value, single value. So for that, actually, we have to recall the concept of calculating median. Okay, I think that topic is
Sir,
in
I
10th
think
class
in
mathematics.
yes,
Hmm.
sir. 20 and 30, I think, plus and by 2. The middle
Yes.
part it is added
Hmm.
and divided by 2.
Yes. So let me check. That is 25. Okay, so 20 plus 30. So we have particular mathematical formula for that. So here we can use this median function for. And if you are going to change like 50, then of course the middlemost value like 30 will be the answer. Okay, so that we can do with the help of this median function. And similarly we can go for mode function, and in mode also we will use this. For example, 10, comma 20, comma 10, comma 30, comma 10, comma 40 comma 20. So it will calculate the mode. So could you tell me what should be the mode for these values?
Frequency, if it is more, that I think 10.
So 10 comes, I think, 3 times, and 20 comes 2 times. Rest are ones. So occurrence of 10 is more. So that's why we will get this mode as 10. Okay. So we can use these functions, and mode we can do. Okay. Okay. So let me check that on python.org that we have few more functions there or not. Okay. So but I will do functions in statistics module, okay, in Python. So I think you will get few more functions there, so that you can check f mean, floating point arithmetic mean, geometric mean, okay, harmonic mean. So all that we can do. And pst dev is population standard deviation of data. So standard deviation we can calculate, variance we can calculate. Okay, so simply you have to know the name of the function and directly you have to use that. Okay, so for example we can use this um, mode we use, median we use. So what we can say, quartiles also is there. So we can use variance of data. Okay, so variance, could you recall that what is the mathematical approach to calculate variance?
Sir, that one 1 upon n minus 1 summation of xi minus mu, I think. Xi
Okay.
minus mu square.
Okay, so so actually we don't need to know, simply we need to know, we don't need to know the mathematical, we can say, approach to use this. Simply we have to use statistics. Okay, then dot variance. For example, we want to calculate variance. Okay, just I am asking that how we can calculate this mathematically. Okay, if we have these values like 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so that you can check at your side, but here we need to know only about the name, only this function. Okay, and we can use it directly. So this will be the variance. Okay, so that you can check at your side. So if you will tell, let me tell you how we can calculate variance. That thing, variance in a statistics or formula. So we have this thing. First we will calculate what, mean. Then we will subtract mean from each value, and whatever we will get we will square that one, and then squared deviation we will sum all those things and we will divide by n minus 1. So if we have n values we have to divide by n minus 1. Okay, so something like that we will get, we can calculate variance. Okay, so that is mathematical approach, but we have to use this function directly here. Okay, so I hope there is nothing technical, or we can say typical, in using these functions from these modules. Okay, but at your side, if you have any query, you may ask. Otherwise, I would suggest that if you can devote some time, then you should open this python.org, and from there, from the modules, you should try to explore these functions at your level. Okay, so you can pick any function, and relevantly you can provide some parameters that is required to run that function, that you have to provide from your side, and then you can run. Okay, so there are a lot of functions. Okay, so simply you need to know at this level, you need to know that how you can import, how you can use simply, and there are few built-in modules in Python like maths, statistics, and random. Okay. So if you have any query regarding to these modules, that you may ask, but let me tell you again that we have other modules also in particular to some library. In that case, first we have to import that library, then only we can use the functions of that module. Okay, so if a module is a part of some particular library, in that case we have to import that library, then and also that module, then only we can use. But these maths, stats, and random, these modules are actually built-in modules. Okay, so directly we can import it, and then we can use the functions available in those modules. Okay, so that's it for today's session. Thank you. But if you have any questions,